Yo! Yo! What's up, TPL fans? It's your boy Dashing here to bring you the highlights from week 1. Now, for the highlights this season, we'll have three categories. That's going to be MVP, Tech, and Game of the Week. So, just to give you guys an idea, MVP will go to whoever gets like the best differential. If there's like a tie, we'll probably give it to whoever had like a better performance, less misplays maybe. If Amon in particular got most of the kills, that could be, factors to consider. But for the most part, there's a good chance, if there's like a tie, we may give it to like two people or something. For Tech of the Week, whoever has the most creative set. And um, another factor to get this one is you have to win your match using the tech. So it doesn't matter if you were able to pull off the tech. If you don't win, it doesn't count. If you have some creative tech but you're not able to, show it off, it doesn't count as well. So it needs to be like seen on the replay. And the game of the week. So the game of the week is basically it's gonna be very subjective in this case. It's gonna be whatever I think was like the highlight of that week. If a certain game was really stood out from the other games, I guess that's how I'd put it. Or what game did I find like most enjoyable? And has like the most replay value, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's get started here. So our first highlight. This is actually it was actually a hard to get like highlights for this week in particular because there was a lot of hacks this week. And as much as possible, I don't like getting hacks replays because it's hacks, right? Like, who wants to watch a game that's tainted by the game itself? So in that case, it was really hard to choose, but I did manage to get some that I thought was kind of enjoyable. And I'll also try to break down turns. I'll go more in depth in this highlight video since we're just covering a few games. I might as well go in depth moving forward. So our first highlight is actually going to be MVP and Tech of the Week, and that's going to go to Stuart's performance for week 1 against Jesse, I believe. So without further ado, let's check out the game and see how that went. So they lead Raikou with Kyurem. So as you can see there, pressure activated before Raikou. Kyurem's pressure activated before Raikou, hinting at it's probably a Scarf set unless this is like a very slow Raikou. So, and he also reveals to have Balloon. So he goes for Ice Beam there. In my opinion, I think the best play would have been to just go for a Draco because if you look at his team, none of the Mons really want to take a Draco. I think even Durant may fall to a Draco, if not Draco plus like a Sucker Punch from Scissor. But yeah, Ice Beam's fine, but I think Draco would have been best. Because even if he had like a sub, he wouldn't be able to sub after a Draco, basically. He goes for a Volt Switch here, and yeah, because his obvious play was to go Volt Switch anyway. So even if he got the Draco off, you're gonna switch your Mons anyway, so it didn't really matter. But you could have put Raikou in like Stealth Rock range, basically. So Lop comes out, goes for a Fake Out, takes some helmet damage. Good prep. Vaporeon's pretty reliable check to Lop. Also, I guess running Ice Beam right there also means that it wasn't guaranteed that he was gonna switch out. So had he stayed in, he could have just went for an Ice Beam to do a shit ton to Lop. And if Lop read the switch to Vaporeon, he could have just went, high jump kick and just did a shit ton of damage. Definitely 2-hit KOing that. But anyway, Lati comes in, goes for a wish, switch to Scissor, passes the wish. Yeah, I think that's a fair play. You don't really have any reason to like. I don't think Lati gets any fire type moves as far as I know. Or actually, I think it does. But anyway, he goes for Ice Beam here. I'm not sure why. If that was a misclick or something. But yeah, that's weird. He goes for a knockoff, removing the lefties and revealing to be Life Orb. Goes for a Bullet Punch. I guess that makes sense. U-turn would have killed as well and got you positioning. But I guess Scissor is what he sees to be like one of his more expendable mons. So he didn't really care if it was gonna go down to like getting revenge by someone like Lop. And it also got rid of the item of a potential Malamar switch or any of these. Durant can definitely take on Scissor, and the knockoff would guarantee that, you know, if it's Life Orb, it removes the item, lowering its damage potential. The Lop comes in, Bullet Punch, does a shit ton of damage because of the Life Orb. Goes CC and gets the kill. So first kill for no, Jesse. This is Jesse. Yeah. He switches to Gengar, goes Willow on the knockoff. Fair play, goes Sludge Wave on another knockoff. I don't think it gets priority, so I think it's safe for Gengar to just claim the kill. I don't think he has any mons that get Pursuit. Like I'm not sure if Lop gets Pursuit, but I don't think you're gonna run Pursuit on Lop because you already have Fake Out. You probably have Fake Out CC, the move, not the player. So yeah, probably not Pursuit, but we'll see. Or maybe this gets Sucker Punch, I don't know. But yeah, he switches out and goes to Durant on the Honchkrow. So from his perspective, this is a very safe max. But then Stuart reveals the tech. He goes for a Heat Wave and woo! Shit! We need to see that again. Holy shit. Punch comes in. Durant comes in. He goes max. Goes for a Heat Wave. Woo! Damn. So that was two things. Heat Wave, and it was also Scarf. When I asked Stuart about that, he was telling me that he was like a neutral nature for special attack, and he had some investment. I also asked Jesse if, you know, the crit mattered. Did you have like AV or what? Because if you're AV, the crit definitely matters. But yeah, it wasn't anything like that. So it's a very valid play there. So yeah, knowing that he's locked into what do you call that, Heat Wave, Raikou comes out here. He would probably live the Heat Wave and just will go for like a Volt Switch if he wants. Kyurem comes in, takes the T-Bolt. Malamar comes in, falls to Ice Beam. Lop comes in, goes for a Fake Out, does some chip, falls to Ice Beam. Yeah, Shaman comes in, Air Slash, no flinch. Okay, so that was actually Scarf Shaman as well. Actually, I was thinking maybe he could have just went max with Hunch and just swept from there, but I guess this was the safer play. I thought it was actually Keldeo, this Shaman. Alright, so that's gonna be the first game. Amazing play and amazing prep from Stuart. Props. Keep it rolling, right? Not really gonna, you know, criticize Jesse too much for that, because that was a really hit set, you know. Probably there were things that you could have done to scout for that in that case. But yeah, it's the start of the season. People are not really preparing too much, I guess. And that's something that really just comes with the game itself. Because imagine if he survived that, then if he goes for, let's say, probably max air. Max air definitely kills hunch, like non-max hunch, and then suddenly you're outspeeding the Theorem, you're outspeeding you're OHKOing Heatran if you have like a fighting or what do you call this, a ground move. Same with Gengar. Vaporeon is somewhat chipped at 84. So if you have like max, what do you call that move? Max bug, that could KO. So 5-0 doesn't really say how close the match could have been. Imagine if the heat wave miss, that could have been, GG, it's Jesse. But anyway, so that's that. Next we'll go for our match of the week. That's gonna be Tyler versus Olivier. Alright? So this game, this is one of those. Alright? One of the more hacks-filled games, but we'll try to break it down, see if we could learn something here. So we start the game. Lando comes in on Empoleon, triggers the Defiant, so he gets a Defiant boost here. We don't really know what set Lando is. I was thinking Empo should be concerned about, let's say, AV set, because AV would be good here as well. So if he was AV and he was like Shuka, that's gonna fall. So I think his best play was just to set rocks there, but he goes for an agility. It's very ambitious. That's a very ambitious play. For one thing, when it comes to like early game setups, I don't really believe that's a good idea in general. I see a lot of people setting up early game and it's basically just a free turn for the opponent. So that's basically what happens here. He outspeeds Shaymin now, but who cares? He goes for Ice Beam, does decent damage. He goes for Leech Seed, gets some HP back. Switches to Pharaoh. Earth Power was very free there, so that's fine. He didn't really have a reason to go for like a Seed Flare there. He goes Earth Power again on the rocks. Now I agree with that play. You get some positioning with the rocks, and you're not totally chipped out. You can still wall stuff here. But yeah, you're taking a lot of damage from the Earth Power. Knockoff removes the lefties. I guess that's okay. It makes Shaymin more vulnerable. I forgot the set. I think Olivier sent me the set of Shaymin, and I thought it had like synthesis. I think it did. Now that I think of it, he goes for a Toxic. I don't really agree with that play because Toxic on Shaymin is kinda useless in the sense that it has natural cure, so it's gonna heal it anyway. So I guess that was the only thing he had. I'm not sure what other moves he had. Maybe he had T-Wave as well, but it's the same thing. At least Toxic, you get damage off on the Shaymin, but now Electros is Toxic. So he goes for a Flamethrower there. The Flamethrower was somewhat predictable, I guess. I guess you could say Volt Switch is free because, Oh, no, he has Lightning Rod here. So he doesn't... He could, switch into Sep and then take the Flamethrower there, if that was the case. But yeah, Flamethrower in general was a very no drawback play. Because, his best check would be Pex for that, and then he could just Volt Switch out. And you could switch around there. But anyway, he gets seeded here as well as Toxic. Switches to Tyrandrum on the Volt Switch. Goes Infernape. I thought he was gonna DD, but he goes Max right away. CC gets a crit. Triple C. Oh. activates Figgy Berry and goes for Max Air. Now, this is something interesting I thought about when I was watching this earlier. So I thought, what would happen if... I think Tyrantrum possibly could have lived. I didn't really calc it, but I was thinking, if you don't get the crit, you're gonna be doing around, I don't know, 50-ish, 40 something. And you're probably not activating the berry in that case, or maybe you do. But what I was thinking was, if you activate the berry, then you could go for like a Max Dragon on Lando to like lower its attack, and maybe you can live the EQ from there. But it didn't really come out mattering here. Knowing that he can't leave the EQ, he just goes for the Rockfall just to set Sandstorm, I guess. So Ditto comes out, goes for U-turn. We're thinking Ditto is Scarf at this point, because that's like the normal set that, you know, League players run. He goes for Oblivion Wing on the Pharaoh, gets an easy kill. Goes Toxapex here on the Dark Pulse, does a shit ton of damage. So it looks like this is a very defensive set, probably designed to take on the Metagross if it like has boosts and stuff. Maybe it's a Haze set, which is more likely the case. Goes for a Scald, no burn. Takes some Sand Chip. Goes for another Dark Pulse, gets the KO. Brings out Ditto. Transforms to Yveltal. Goes for an Oblivion Wing, does 39. He goes for a Roost here, gains 50. So he goes for a Oblivion Wing, 39, and you're doing 57. So at this point, the correct play to do is just stay in. Just stay in. That's 100%. Because you're definitely gonna beat the Ditto. Also, for those who don't know, Ditto only has like 5 PP, so you're definitely gonna out PP him. If you're afraid that, you know, you'll be in a low health, you can always stall with Roost. But yeah, because even if he switches out to one of these on your Roost, you'll be at around full health, and Sceptile can touch you, Empoleon can touch you. So, Yveltal just wins from here. Goes for Oblivion Wing, does 40. Goes for his own Oblivion Wing, and he's around at 63. So, I think at that point, the max that Ditto could do was like around 40. I think when I calculated it was around 40, 41. Not really 41, but like 40 plus point, decimal. So even you would live a crit. I would say you would live a crit from there. So, but not wanting to risk that, or maybe he didn't really want to calculate. He just goes for Electros here. Takes the Oblivion Wing because he already knows that he's locked. He goes for a Dragon Pulse read here and gets a crit. Crit's not really gonna matter in the long run, as you'll see. Revenges the Electros. Metagross comes out. He goes Focus Blast here. Goes for a Max Air. Gets the kill. Now, what I like that he does here is he goes for Max Quake. If he had Max Knuckle, I'm happy he didn't go for that, because that would have just given Ditto a boost once it transforms. So he goes for a Scald, gets the burn. Goes for another Max Quake. Smart play. Max ends. Ditto comes in. And this is the shit. This is the disaster. You get a flinch. Hurt by burn. You live the EQ because of the burn. Fall to burn. Yveltal comes in. Unfortunately, no Sucker Punch. You get the flinch. Gets KO'd. Shaman comes in. And you get crit. Oh my god. So, well, yeah, we're not really. We don't really have much criticism for this match, you know. No one could have expected the turn of events that happened at the end there with regards to the burn, the flinches, and the crit at the end. Um, I think generally, if this was me, I definitely have Sucker Punch because, you know, it's a Ditto. You're gonna run Scarf. So, it's always good to have something like that. He ended up not needing it in the game had it been like, you know, a non-haxy game. And like I mentioned earlier, he already had the game won with Evil Tal there. He didn't really need to switch out, but I guess he felt like delaying the game or you know fighting Oblivion Wing for Oblivion Wing would make the game take longer. But I think if he went for like the last one, it would have already KO'd, but he decided to switch instead. So anyway, I guess that's the only thing we can say about that. Now, since we only have like 2 games here, I decided to include like an honorable mention. You're not. This is not really considered an official award in this case. So it's just like for additional content for everyone, and that's gonna be Joe versus Sionie. All right. So this is also one of those games. It actually came down to the wire. So let's check out the game and see how it went. So it leads Araquanid versus Copa. Very interesting. I'm not really a believer in the concept of leading with your max move. I don't really see a lot of merit for that. In his case, if he brought this team, probably the best lead would have been just the Silvally or maybe Slowbro. In his case, he could have led Curem, Araquanid, Mudsdale, and Boom. I think these 4 are like solid leads in general. So yeah, decides to switch out on Zera as he sets webs. Had he gone for like a liquidation, that would have fall, and you just lost your Zera just because of, you know, leading with your Copa. I'm not sure. Maybe that was like a misclick, right? He wasn't planning on leading with Copa, but he led with it anyway. So yeah, Mudsdale comes out on the knockoff, removes the Rindo Berry. Interesting. Among Us comes in. This kind of walls Mudsdale completely. He makes a smart play by going rocks. So Joe's kinda in a good position right now. He has webs and rocks, and he also has like a better positioning. He goes Arceus Steel on the Sludge Bomb, and he goes CM. This was very surprising to me because I would think that you wouldn't want your Ubermon to be slept by Spore. I'm not sure if you forgot about that was a thing, but yeah, that was weird. So it is what it is. It's asleep now. Switches to Copa, burns a sleep turn. Switches to Mudsdale. He goes Max here, Max Knuckle. Hoping to do good damage on the, what do you call this? Arceus. He goes high horsepower here, thinking he could live the next move, but he goes for Max Overgrowth. KOs because the Rindo Berries has been removed. Araquanid comes in, switches back to Arceus, predicting the Steel move. But even resisted, it still did a shit ton of damage. That's +1 Life Orb, Max Steel Surge. And now he has like these Steel type hazards on the field. Burns a second turn of sleep and gets KO'd with the superpower. Unfortunately, Boom doesn't get, I don't think it gets any support moves like, you know, aromatherapy or something. So yeah, you basically lost Arceus for nothing. And all of a sudden, Sionie is in an amazing position. His minus defense here, but that's really fine. You're gonna switch out anyway on the boom. Boom comes in on the Amoongus. Goes for Drain Punch. Actually does 20%. If I were to guess, that's banned because Drain Punch will never do that much. Even if it's like Adamant or something. Goes for a Sludge Bomb. Because Arceus is gone, Sludge Bomb is kinda free on this team. Get some recovery there. Goes for Freeze Drive, predicting the Slowbro switch. I'm not sure if this is like a Scarf set or you know, boosting item. But yeah, he goes for a Sludge Bomb there. Switches to Koppa. Amazing play. It covers most of his options. And he didn't really care about Koppa dying there because he would have traded it with Kyurem. His only defogger here would be the Bravery, and you don't really want to use a turn of your Maxmon, you know, getting chipped just to defog. You kind of want to have as much health as possible. So Bravery comes here, reveals that he is not Boots. Goes for Max Knuckle. Gets the KO as well as getting a boost. Interesting. He goes Slowbro here. Now I've used Slowbro in my SCD league, and Slowbro definitely has some anti-max tech. You could like run Yawn, you could run Trick Room, stuff like that. So I'm expecting some anti max tech here. It goes for Max Darkness, does a shit ton of damage, and it goes for Scald. So it's like hoping for a burn. Is that it? So yeah, he's hoping for a burn basically. He goes for Max Knuckle as well, thinking probably that he would switch out to get some regen. I guess that's somewhat understandable. And you also get an attack boost. Because as far as I'm concerned, one of these mons is probably Boots. If I were to guess, both or Cinder in particular has to be Boots, right? He goes for Toxic here, wanting to sort of put it on a timer instead of just scalding for the burn. So yeah, he actually gets lucky there by, you know, going for Max Knuckle. He lives that, so he wastes another turn of the max. And Bravery is now normal form. Zeraora comes in, I don't know why, and takes the CC. I'm not sure if Zera was the right mon to sack there, but anyway, at this point he goes Silvally Ground. In my opinion, you could have just gone Cinder because he's gonna reveal later on that Cinder is his what do you call this? Boots Cinder. So you could just outspeed that because he doesn't really have any speed boosts here, and hit it with like a pyro ball that will get the kill. But he goes Silvally here, takes the CC, and goes for Ice Beam. Goes Rillaboom here. So I agree with switching into Amoongus there. We already know that this is banded. Definitely from that U-turn damage, it's banded. Araquanid reveals to be, I think, leftovers, or was it just the terrain? Yeah, he switches to Silvally here. I think the best play he could have done right now is just to, what do you call that move? Parting Shot. So if you Parting Shot Araquanid, you didn't even need to go to Silvally. You could have just gone Bro, because Bro kind of walls Silvally. I mean, it's low HP, I guess, but you already recovered from the switch. So I guess that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to like put Bro in a higher HP. He goes for T-Wave. Now I think this is a huge misplay, because if you went for like a Parting Shot back to the Amoongus, you would have had around 50-ish%. He's at -1. you can 1v1 him from there, and he has to switch to. He's gonna have to switch to Boom eventually, and Boom doesn't want to take a sludge bomb. So yeah, he sacked that for like no reason. So yeah, this is kind of gonna go on for like a while, so we can like talk about the match here. So I think those were like opportunities for like Sionie to have sealed the deal, right? He could have won like 3-0 or probably 3-0, maybe 2-0, depending on how turns go, if switches happen certain ways. But yeah, Cinder comes in here, goes for a Super Fang, puts it at half. Because yeah, if he just went for the, if he just went for the, what do you call that move? For the parting shot, Slowbro has Toxic. It's already revealed it earlier, so you could just Toxic the Araquanid when it comes in. If Boom comes in, you can always switch in the Amoonguss, and you kind of, it's like a GG game from there. But because of the paralysis here, he could have definitely stalled this out even more. Just kept switching back and forth, keep getting some regen, and eventually the what do you call this? Araquanid is gonna lose all the PP. Also, you could have also defogged instead of going for T-Wave, so at least your regen core doesn't get chipped out. But yeah, that's eventually how it played out. You could stall this with Bro, but he already knows that it's pointless, because even if he gets the kill with Araquanid, Boom is banded, probably has a grass move, and it just gets O-code from there. So that's basically, in a nutshell, the highlights for week 1. It's kind of unfortunate we had so many games that ended with hacks, or games where hacks played a huge part in the result. And hopefully this week, week 2, things are gonna be more stable as far as the games go. So yeah, for those who haven't watched the replay, we're just gonna fast forward it a few more turns. He gets some defense drops eventually from the liquidation, and he falls, and that's gonna be GG. It's Joey. So yeah, yep. So that's gonna be the highlights for week 1. If you like the video, then leave a comment there, put some besos or katis on the chat, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.